With me making the videos that were geared towards new players, it's been a bit since I've actually posted some gameplay videos. So we're going to get back to that today and hopefully over the next couple of days. And I want to show you what I've been playing. So when I want to climb on ladder, unfortunately I'm just not very original. And I've been playing what a lot of other people have been playing, which is consume monsters, or as I like to call it, hungry, hungry hippos, because it eats, eats, and eats. This is the list I've been running as of late, and it is pretty efficient. It's very good at spiking some strength, carrying strength from round to round. It's a pretty standard go. We've got the 3 neckers. We've got 3 necker warriors to pump more neckers into the deck. We've got some ghouls. Ghouls are great in the Scoia'tael discard matchup and a few other matchups. If you see enemy roaches, things like that, sometimes they eat them, and that's good. But basically it is an absorb effect, so it pumps up your neckers. Ekamara, again, absorb effect, but they're also agile, so they help you kind of play around opposing Igni cards. They also let you eat rotten cows, so they are very good in the Nilfgaard matchup. And then continuing on, Old Spear Tip. He's just a really good swing card for matchups where people are lane stacking, like dwarfs or like the mirror match, for example. He can oftentimes be a really big swing. He's going to usually hit the board, pump your row, immediately switch to an 8, and then do a bunch of damage to the opposing row. For a silver card, he's worth a lot of value. In rare instances where somebody actually gives you like the ego pass, you can sometimes combo him with your leader ability. Now you'll oftentimes go at card disadvantage, but if you go at a disadvantage but you also take out somebody's like long-lasting effects, right? So like if a Scoia'tael player, for example, gives you the ego pass in round 2 after they've played a bunch of dwarves and buffed them, then you can drop a Frost, drop Old Spear Tip, and wipe their board clean. And even though you're usually at a card disadvantage going into the next round, you're going to carry over all your awesome monster power. They won't carry over theirs, and it's a pretty big swing. So I find him to be a almost invaluable card in the deck. Catechin, for the same reason we play ghouls, only he's targeted. I'm currently running Igni in what I call the flex spot for gold cards in the deck. There's a lot of things you could put here. The gold Siri would also work. There's a few other cards that I've played, but for right now, Igni seems to be the most consistent. And then we run the Crones because we play some low tempo plays with the Neckers and Necker Warriors, so these help make that up. And sometimes, depending on the opponent, like I've had games where I've still just played Crones and passed. It used to be that was a pretty standard opener, and then you would just either put them at a card disadvantage or you would just win round 1 and spend round 2 drawing them out. But so many decks now are running Witchers and so forth to counter that's not as viable. But every now and then somebody will open up with some low tempo plays and you can catch them with just a Crone's pass. So run them. Caretaker because he is clutch in monsters. The K-Ran because he is a great way to like super buff your Neckers. Commander's Horn because we do a lot of strength row stacking. One Thunder just kind of for like emergency tech to get rid of something. Similarly, one First Light for if you do run into some like weird weather effects. Sometimes they force Dagon out of you and then this gives you a backup. I only run 1 monster nest instead of 2. I tried 2 for a bit, but I was tripping over my own Neckers. If you don't get like multiple Necker Warriors earlier, then a lot of times the first monster nest will just drain your deck if they blow up the Neckers, and then you don't have more Neckers for the second monster nest. So I went back to just running 1. And then rounding out the deck is Avalak because he's, in my opinion, the best spy in the game, and there's no reason not to run him. So right now, this is the list. And as I said, it's not really original, but it is effective, and we're going to go ahead and jump into some games with this. And the next time I do a recording, we're going to do a non-traditional list that I've been playing. So no spoilers, but for now, let's take a look at some Consume Monster gameplay.
Humans have no place in
Alright, so here we go with our first round. looks like we're likely going to be playing against dwarves. So this ought to be an interesting matchup. So right away I always check. We don't want a second crone, so let's go ahead and get rid of that. We have 1 necker and 2 warriors, which is pretty great. I usually don't like the ghouls in the first matchup because there's oftentimes not a lot for us to eat. I mean, we do have the Ekamara to eat one of the crones, but I typically send those back. Now, in this case, I actually think that we keep this. We have the necker and the 3 warriors, so that we can pump those out, and then we have a monster nest. We have the 1 crone, we have 3 gold cards. There's not a lot of ways we could really improve upon this, so... The downside is we have a lot of low tempo plays. But if we can get this going and then get off a good monster nest, that might be able to carry us the rest of the way. The biggest problem is that he is likely going to start off with a smuggler, to which we have no answer. I mean, if it grows out of control, we have Igni later. But that smuggler is going to be a problem.
Sure, no problem.
So he answers with Witchers. Not exactly a shock. We're gonna probably be stuck answering with low tempo plays. He's gonna do this and then probably some sort of Hawker healer play of some kind. If he doesn't push us too hard, though, in terms of strength spikes, we've got a couple more low-tempo plays before we can start spiking ourselves. But we might end up just forfeiting this first round and trying to recoup with some Avalak there. Another smuggler. Yeesh. Yeah, there's no way we're going to take this first round.
Special prize, just for you, love.
Not realistically. Probably gonna have to go with Crohn's next. He's likely just gonna pass here. At which point we would have to go to -2 to take the round. Which may or may not be worth it. I mean, the nice thing is that this threatens Frost, so he can't pass too early or else we can kind of just steal around. But we have to go to -2 because we also haven't played Crohn's yet, so I think he's kind of doing math.
We ought to help one or the other.
Yep, there's that. We're gonna go ahead and Crohn's. He gets his spike. So he's got 21 here. We, on the other hand, have 22, but he's got 2 more here, so technically Frost still puts us at -1 as of right now. Kind of curious to see how far he's going to push this.
Have strength, my love.
And it looks like he's gonna keep going.
We ought to help one or the other.
So we have to decide if we just Avalak now. Probably bounce it and throw it back to us. That would potentially let us find Old Spear Tip, in which case we could actually still just steal the round. So I think we just Avalak now.
At last.
There he is. He's thinking about it. He's gonna
There
throw
will be
it.
no negotiation.
He's gonna throw it right back at us. Not much we can really do about that. The Karen is good though. So now we have to decide how much power we want to carry around to the next round. Monster Nest pulls us into a decent power spike for the future. Could we make it up with 2 cards is the real question. Monster Nest adds 3 more. I think the answer is no. I think we have to pass here while we still have at least 1 card lead. As much as I want to keep pushing, we've basically done all of our low tempo stuff. We're still keeping the 8 power Crone unless he does something. There's no way we're going to win this unless we go to massive card disadvantage. The downside is this fit entirely like into his plan. But there wasn't a whole lot that we could really do about it. So he's going to be kind enough to go ahead and make us go first. Oh look, how nice. So this is where you just pray that he doesn't have a swipe. Some of them still tech it in. If he has a swipe, it's going to be bad times. If he doesn't have a swipe, then we can at least pump our guys up to survive, but not a lot we can do. Alright, he has a Yavin. Yavin is not a swipe, so at least we have that. Actually, I think we're going to save that and do the ghoul, because this eating this later is pretty good for us, so... Now, here's the downside. Swipe, still a problem, right? Like, that bought him a turn and let him draw a card to maybe try to find it. So, that card advantage that we had from passing in the first round, pretty much gone. So, got a Manticore Venom. That is interesting tech, I'm not gonna lie. Not what I was expecting there. Let's do this to get it out of that range. I mean, I understand why he's doing it. It's not like there are not some popular decks floating around, but oh, he's going to eat another Necker. He's going to try to deny me carrying power through. So right now we're only carrying 2 Neckers over, huh? We do have Caretaker into Smuggler. We have Caretaker into Hawker Healer if we need a big spike. But right now, I think it's more just about not spending too many resources. Like, we're already up a ton. He's just trying to draw cards out of us. We're probably going to end up getting to play this time around. It's probably going to eat this, and this. Akamara here. Hope he doesn't have the Scorch or the Igni. Yeah, he's just trying to draw cards out. Let's go ahead and eat that. Because if he's got the Scorch or the Igni, like, he's just going to have it either way. He's doing an awfully good job. So there's 1 silver left. Could be D-Bomb. D-Bomb would obviously be a problem. Alright, so I think we do the thing. gives us a boost. Again, we're kind of trying to not waste this if we can help it. Does open us up for an Igni here or here, both of which would be pretty rough. But with the ghouls where they were, there wasn't much avoiding this. Alright, he's getting kind of close, right? Like 11, 16. Just thinking about that future Igni. I feel like we either caretaker a smuggler or a healer here. Or we Commander's Horn. I feel like Commander's Horn's probably better. We're not going to have a big front row like we do right now. So in terms of the stall, I think we go with that. Still has, yeah, see, there we go. Still has a silver left. We're only going to get 2 Neckers, which is kind of a bummer. He does have 2 golds left. We have to assume one is a Glice. If we can get him to use it early, and I doubt we can, but if we can, then we could probably stick a Frost. But I think instead we're just going to snag one of these.
Show me the coin or sod off.
Everything all right?
And then we're going to go ahead and do this, which should just be eating Yavin, right? I don't think there's going to be anything bigger than a 14. Because the Karen resets. So that's a pretty big spike. We might not even want to stick the Frost at this point. We're really more worried about D-Bomb, which again, he's only played 5 silvers.
I sense strong magic.
And the fact that he shot our smuggler is a concern. So we have a Ghoul and 2 Ekamaras left. I don't think we're going to get to stick the Frost, and in all honesty, I don't think that it benefits us now that we're so heavy. I actually think that we go ahead and we play this in search of an Ekamara. Like, that's the thing we want to hit here. Because then we can transfer some of this to the back here, and then it makes, if he does have D-Bomb, it makes it that much harder for him to completely wipe us. So I think we're going to go ahead and do this now for the rally effect. We did get our Ekamara. So let's go ahead and transfer the power back there. So now we're pretty well diversified in terms of lanes. Yeah, Igni kind of sucks. Alright, so we really wish that we had a way to get rid of this guy, but we don't. So let's just go ahead and take our
Any last words?
Our swing that we do have. So we're expecting a Glice into Commander's Horn, or a victory! Alright, we did it correctly. So that was kind of a nail-biter, but it usually is against the dwarves. So we will go ahead and play another game and see how it goes.
As dead as
Alright, here we go with Game 2. And it's going to be interesting because it's against monsters, but monsters that isn't running Dagon. And I'm not going to lie, that's got me a little concerned. That makes me think it might be weather monsters, and we do not do well against weather monsters. Alright, so we shipped back 1 crone. We have 1 Necker and 2 warriors. The ghouls I find not to be super awesome in the first round. That's pretty good, though. Oh boy. Do we risk running into another Necker or another crone? I mean, we would really like some more gold power, because in this matchup it's honestly like not that great, but I think the first light's a good keep. Thunder helps. I think we go ahead and we keep it. If this is weather, we could be in for some trouble. Now, if it's like Monster Mirror, but he's just running Aridin, I actually think we're pretty well off. Alright, so he's running a Fiend, which leads me to believe that he may not be weather? Unless he's running like Blizzard Potion, but this lends itself to like consume strategies. Wow, he plays Old Spear Tip on an empty lane. Alright, I am legitimately confused. Our opponent's name is Fun Go. He is doing something, it would appear, that is fun, so good for him. I think that this on the empty lane is supposed to be like a preemptive response to Crones, which isn't a horrible deterrent, but I think that we might actually just Thunder this and then set ourselves up for a quality Crones play. Similarly, our old Spear Tip here looks pretty good as well, but I think we just go ahead and we do this. That does telegraph that we're about to play Crones, but it also means we don't have to worry about that. Alright, so there's the Woodland Spirit. I assume we're going to see Foglets here. Oh, no, okay. Let's go ahead and play our Crones. This still might be weather monsters, and Gaunter is really good in weather because you oftentimes weather something, and then this nukes a bunch of things that are set to 1 strength. Thankfully, we have nothing in the range row currently. We've kind of closed the gap. I don't think we're going to get a better chance to get some old Spear Tip value here, so we'll show him why you wait. Clear that out. If this guy dies, he's a great target for our Catechin as well. Or we could just Caretaker him for a pretty big swing, though Caretaker on his old Spear Tip might also be really beneficial at some point. Okay. How do we want to handle this? I mean, that was just our own Necker. So I think that the right play is probably Ekamara to eat a Crone. I'm just trying to figure out where I want to put her. I think we're still going to go here, just because he has the 2 Fiends, so if he does Frost, that hurts him more than a back row. Right? A Rain would be... like, we would just set ourselves up for Rain if we did that, so...
Damn it.
Okay. We also set ourselves up for Igni. That was a pretty quality play. Caretaker puts us at 33. Old Spear Tip does take the lead again for us. So if we could Caretaker his old Spear Tip, just smack him around there. We can also Catechin our own 8. We can still do that afterwards, and then that still leaves us open to maybe hit this later. So as much as I don't want to use Caretaker this early, I kind of want the flexibility of winning the first round, I think. So we're going to go with the old Spear Tip punish again on that front row. Now he's looking at my grave. He might be considering his own Caretaker because that's why he's looking, or his own Catechin. But we don't have a lot in there. Just our Brewis that we might want to eat with this. So he is gonna snipe the Brewis from us. So we're gonna get stuck eating our own Ekamara, it looks like. But I still think that that is the proper play, because I want to fight for the round. It's still a potential 12 keep. So we do take the round. He's going to carry this over. But we're going to carry ours and a necker. So we will still have the strength lead going into this round. And we got some ghouls to help bolster the necker. And again, this could be a real powerhouse for us, as could the First Light if he does in fact prove to be weather. So let's go ahead and do that. Gonna try to make him use as much as he has to here. He did save the crones till round 2, so bravo to him. Now, if he doesn't have a First Light, this for rain could just win us the game. So we're going to go ahead and do it. If he has a First Light, he can use it. There it is. And we would be keeping 16, he would be keeping 15. I'm just concerned that if we use this right now, we're more than likely going to find a necker than anything else. But if we don't use it, then we haven't thinned our deck to try to find like anything else. Plus, using this means he has to use his last card, which may or may not mean that he doesn't even get to keep this. So I think we're actually going to go ahead and do it, even though it's likely a necker. No, it is a necker warrior. That might have been the worst pull we could have gotten. Now we need him. There we go. So he got another low impact strength keep. So I guess we do kind of... we get a little victory there, thankfully. He keeps a 6, and that guy doesn't pass stuff over. We keep a 5. But we get a necker. Now he gets to play first. He thunders, so we have to Avalac and then hope that we draw enough to surpass this. This is not a feels good place to be.
It's time.
And we instead find... oh, thank God we pulled that. That actually might have saved us depending on how this goes. Here's where we hope for a buff to necker. And we thankfully hit it. Wow. That was yet another nail biter. Holy cow. Avalac saves the day. Well, I had fun. Hopefully you had fun. Not exactly a new deck, but some fun games, and as I said, we're going to get back to putting some actual gameplay videos up this week, so look forward to seeing some more.